Well, first of all, I'm going to use the opportunity to describe how I started working on nutrition in the late 1970s and indicate that the issues we were dealing with are fundamental to development, and yet at the time they seemed to be really completely neglected in their totality by the international community. And then what I'm going to do is to look at how different groups of people have together lifted the subject up from relative obscurity to the situation now where it is at least being given a lot of attention in international dialogue. I'm going to stress that there's a difference between having global declarations about nutrition, which have been occurring since the 1980s, and the actual process of taking a subject, ensuring that it is recognized as a problem, then identifying actions that can be taken to address that problem, showing the economic and social dimensions of those actions, and then getting a strategy, getting endorsement of that strategy, and then building a movement behind that strategy that enables different groups to say, yes, now we can do something about nutrition. Whereas I think for perhaps 20 or 30 years they were saying, nutrition is clearly important, but we don't know what to do about it. And one part of this is bringing together different groups of people who up till now have been working in silos and finding ways for them to find common cause. Of course, when you really get motoring on an issue, and here nutrition is the key one we're talking about, you have to have real heavyweight backers to support you. And during the last 5 years, IFPRI, joining up with the World Bank, with the Gates Foundation, parts of the United Nations family, and more serious political leaders have said, right, now is the time to really make a difference on nutrition. And the second half of my presentation will be about where we are now with the roadmap and framework for scaling up nutrition, the 1,000-day movement, and the possibility for keeping nutrition firmly in the development agenda. When people say, is nutrition repositioned? My answer will be, it's happening. But you can never take it for granted. You can never say this issue is now firmly on the development agenda, because there's always competing priorities, and indeed also there are real challenges now with making sure in the current environment that development issues stay there. But it's a very good moment, and what I shall do is to suggest indicators that we can apply to say whether or not it's staying there, and actions that we can all take to keep nutrition where it should be and to achieve outcomes, not just in relation to nutrition, but in relation to hunger, in relation to livelihoods, and in relation to long-term food security for the world.